chazer over one of the first sikha in this booklet that the Rebbe gave out. Anybody knows what this booklet is? Anyone know? No one? The Rebbe said that the fastest way from all the ways in Torah to bring Mashiach is through learning about Mashiach. And after the Rebbe said this, the Rebbe stood for many hours and gave everyone this booklet. This booklet is 4 sikhs of the Rebbe explaining the last 2 parakim of the Rambam. Like Shadow said before, the last 2 parakim of the Rambam in a certain prints, an old prints, it's called Hilchis Malachim Malchamei Subalach HaMashiach. This is what Mashiach is according to halacha. This is not only Gemara's about Mashiach, which in a Gemara you can learn different opinions, and not necessarily this is Negel Amaisa. Not necessarily this is something that you act according to it. There's many opinions in Gemara, there's many opinions in Midrashim, but we don't act according to a Gemara. The uniqueness of halacha is that this is Maisa B'Poyel. There's no 2 ways about it. This is the way it's going to be. So the Rambam is the only halacha sefer, the only book of halacha that made such a thing as Hilchis Malach HaMashiach, Mashiach according to halacha. So now, anybody know what do you guys know about Mashiach? Very simple. What's Mashiach? What does the word Mashiach mean? Anybody know? What's the literal meaning of the word Mashiach?
Anointed one.
Anointed. Very good. Who was the first Mashiach in history? Who's the first person? The Rambam says there's 2 Mashiachs. Who is the first? He says the first Mashiach in history, just someone, and someone that gets up from his kids is the last Mashiach. Can anyone guess who is this first Mashiach? Who's the first Mashiach? David HaMelech. Why not Moshe Rabbeinu? Moshe Rabbeinu took Tidin out of Mitzrayim. Whoever said David is correct. David is called the first Mashiach. When the Rebbe asks in the Sikh over here, why isn't Moshe Rabbeinu the first Mashiach? The Medrash says, Goyel Rishon, who Moshe, who Goyel Achron, the first Redeemer was Moshe Rabbeinu. They didn't learn Golish, they didn't learn Mitzrayim, and Moshe Rabbeinu came and took them out of Golish. So why doesn't the Rambam say the first Mashiach is Moshe? Why David? Another thing everybody knows, there's Ani Maimin, you know the song. This Ani Maimin Bavuna Shleim and Bavias and Mashiach comes from. This is based on what the Rambam writes in his introduction to the Pirush of Mishnayos, the Rambam's explanation on the Mishnayos of Mesachas Sanhedrin, Perik Chelik, and we say Kol Yisrael Yeshlam Chelik Ve'Elam Haba. That is a chapter in Mesachas Sanhedrin called Perik Chelik. It speaks about Elam Haba and Mashiach. So in the Rambam's introduction, the Rambam over there mentions, he says there's 13 things from the whole Yiddishkeit. They're called foundations. They're Yosoidis. Just like a building cannot stand without a foundation, so too there's 13 in Yonim that a Yid has to believe in order to consider himself a Jew. If someone's missing this, his whole Yiddishkeit is messed up. It's not going to stand. Like he says, to believe in Nevuah, for example. If a guy doesn't believe in Nevuah, so how do we have a Torah B'chlal? Who gave us the Chumash? The whole Chumash that we have is a Nevuah of Moshe Rabbeinu. You have to believe in a Navi, a foundation of the whole Torah is to know that there's a Navi. So one of the 13 foundations, the 12th foundation of the whole Yiddishkeit is to believe that Mashiach is going to come. Why is the coming of Mashiach a foundation of the whole Yiddishkeit? Why is this something that holds up the whole Yiddishkeit? There's certain Doili Yisrael, the Chassam Sofer, is one of the famous ones, that he says he doesn't understand why Mashiach is a foundation of Yiddishkeit, and he brushes it off. Says he doesn't see why is this a foundation, but the fact is that it is a foundation, and the Rambam chose it and put it as one of the foundations. Why is it a foundation of the whole Yiddishkeit? Also another thing, like we say in this, that we wait for Mashiach I'll wait for Mashiach the whole day, every day. Or like we say in Shemona Esrei, not only every day, but the whole day. Kivinu kol hayoyim. The whole day we're waiting for Mashiach. Why are we waiting for Mashiach all day? What's bothering us? If a guy is not sick, and there's no corona, and there's no war, and no one has yana machle, and everyone's healthy. Just imagine a guy has all the money he needs, and there's no one bothering him, there's no anti-Semitism. So why is this guy davening every day, 3 times a day for Mashiach? And if the guy lives in Yerushalayim, and he lives on the Harabay, he lives right next to the Harabayis, and he has everything he needs, why is this guy davening every day for Mashiach? This is something that the Rebbe would mention many times, and the Rebbe would even say what people are thinking. Why are you bothering me? The Rebbe says. The Rebbe was speaking over what's going through people's heads during the Farbrengen. He said the guy is busy learning Torah, he's learning Chassidus, he's being made with Chassidus. So what are you mixing this guy up and talking to him about Mashiach? Why is it so important to wait for Mashiach? Why do we need Mashiach? So people say, because you're doing the Rebbe a favor. Because the Rebbe wants Mashiach, therefore I want Mashiach. But why does the Rebbe want Mashiach? Why does the Rebbe want Mashiach? Because the Frierdiker Rebbe wants Mashiach? No. The Rebbe knows what Mashiach is, and therefore he wants it. And this that the Torah says everyone should want Mashiach, it's not because it's not only to get rid of tzaris. So then when the tzaris are not there, when there's nothing bothering you, then you don't want Mashiach anymore. So basically, to explain all of this, to make it as simple as possible, we have 613 mitzvahs. Anybody know how many of these mitzvahs we could do today from the 613 mitzvahs? Close? Close? Even closer? Whoever said 86?
87.
87. We're going to do 87 from the 248 positive commandments. Why only 87? Why not all 248? Why not all the Ramach mitzvahs I say? What are we missing? There's no Beis HaMikdash. Very good. What else?
Shemitah.
Why can't we do? That's one of the mitzvahs.
No king.
A king, very good. He said a king, a Beis HaMikdash. And there's another thing, a third thing. You said Shemitah. That's the effect.
Eretz Yisrael.
What do you mean Eretz Yisrael?
Full control.
We have to all be gathered.
Very good. You need to have Kol Yeshua Allah. You need to have all the Yidden in Eretz Yisrael in order to do Shemitah and Yovel. Which means there's certain conditions to do the Taryag mitzvahs. The Rebbe said many times that we need to prepare the whole world to be Makabel Pnei Mashiach, to be ready to greet Mashiach. And how do we do that? The Rebbe said it's through teaching people what is Mashiach. So whenever I put on someone's tefillin, I have about 1 minute or maybe 30 seconds when I'm taking off the guy's tefillin to tell him what Mashiach is. And not only tell him, like they say in the name of the Alter Rebbe, that they asked the Alter Rebbe, when is Mashiach going to come? So he said the Mashiach that everyone is waiting for is never going to come, and the Mashiach that's going to come, no one is waiting for him. So Alter Rebbe is saying, in other words, there's the made-up Mashiach, there's some fantasized Mashiach that either you came up with it. I know people came up on their own that this is what Mashiach is, or it's Alter Baba Mises, whatever the Bubby told them what Mashiach is. And the Alter Rebbe says this Mashiach is never going to come. The Mashiach that is going to come, no one is waiting for, which means there's a Mashiach that the Torah says that's going to come, and no one knows about it. No one's learning about it, so no one knows what it is, because no one knows what it is, so no one's waiting for the right Mashiach. So you have to have a minute or less to tell this guy what is Mashiach. So I usually tell them is that we just put on tefillin. Tefillin is how many mitzvahs? How many mitzvahs is tefillin? It's 2 mitzvahs. It's the Shal Yad is a mitzvah, and on the head is another mitzvah. So if someone is missing an arm, could he put on tefillin on his arm? No. If someone's missing a head, could he put tefillin on his head? So basically, there's conditions to put on tefillin, and so too to do 613 mitzvahs. There's 3 conditions to fulfill them. And He said a king, you said a Beis HaMikdash, and he said, Kol Yishmael. There's three conditions. Because we are missing these three conditions, there isn't a Melech Al-Pidin. A Melech Al-Pidin means there's a Melech, there's the concept of a king, which that's also in the time of Galus, the Indian of a Melech. Then there is a Melech according to Halacha, a literal king, which is when there's a Sanhedrin of 71, and a Navi, they appoint a king. There's a Melech, you need to have a Beis HaMikdash, which only in the Beis HaMikdash, just in the Beis HaMikdash, tons of mitzvahs are dependent. You can only do in the Beis HaMikdash with the Beis HaMikdash. Bringing korbanos, bringing diktoides, lighting the menorah every day, going to the regel. Many mitzvahs is only in the Beis HaMikdash. And the third thing is to have all the Yidden in Eretz Yisrael. Now the Torah promises that a time's going to come and a king's going to get up and he's going to build a Beis HaMikdash and he's going to take everyone to Eretz Yisrael, and then we will be able to do all the 613 mitzvahs. The Torah itself promises. According to this, the Rebbe explains why does the Rambam bring the halachas of Moshiach in the end of the whole Rambam. Why is it Moshiach at the end of the whole entire Rambam? So some of Farshim say, because it's Moshiach, which is going to come at the end of days, and it's not Negel al-Lamaisa, it's not Negel al-Lach, so the Rambam pushes it off to all the way to the end of the Rambam. The Rebbe explained just the opposite. Why did the Rambam put the halachas of Moshiach in the end of the whole Rambam? Because what makes something complete? We have a Sefer Torah, and it's missing the last letter. Is the whole Torah Kosher Torah? It's a Pasuk Torah, you can't read from it. The last letter of the Torah makes the whole entire Torah, from the Reishis Bar Elokim, from the first pasuk, Akasha the Sefer Torah. Whatever comes in the end, this makes the whole thing a complete thing. Without the end, it's not complete. It's missing. The whole entire thing is not complete. Why is the Rambam putting the halachas of saying what is Malach HaMashiach, what is your Moshe Mashiach in the end of the whole Rambam? Because the Rambam wants to tell you when is the whole entire Rambam. The Rambam is the only book of halacha that has all 613 mitzvahs. The Shulchan Aruch only has the 87 mitzvahs. It only has the mitzvahs that we can do in the time of Galus. The Rambam is the only halacha sefer that has all the 613 mitzvahs. So why does he end off with Mashiach to tell you when will the whole entire Rambam come to be complete? When will you be able to fulfill the whole Rambam? When will he be able to do the whole Rambam? A guy could be learning the Rambam every day, and he can't do this, can't do that. He's learning, he can't do anything. The Rambam ends off with Mashiach to tell you, and what does he say? What is Mashiach? Right away he says Mashiach is going to come. He's going to be this king. He's going to build a Beis HaMikdash. We're going to be able to bring korbanos. He's going to bring everyone to Eretz Yisrael, and we're going to be able to do Shemitah and Yovel, all the mitzvahs that are independent in Eretz Yisrael. And that's Mashiach. That's it. That's what the Rambam writes. That's what Mashiach's all about. He's going to make it possible to do 613 mitzvahs. Without Mashiach, where is the whole Yiddishkeit? Where's all the Torah and mitzvahs that the Eibishter gave us? One of the foundations of the Yiddishkeit, we said there's 13. One of the 13 is that Torah and mitzvahs is forever. Anything that the Eibishter gave us is forever and ever and ever. Tefillin is not for a certain amount of years, it's forever. So, a guy is learning about all the korbanos. He's learning about the Beis HaMikdash. He's learning about all of these mitzvahs. How is it forever? How is a mitzvah of lighting the menorah every single day? So a mitzvah to light the menorah is every single day, not only on Hanukkah. How is this forever? So what are you going to tell me? The Eibishter's commandment is forever. The Eibishter said, if someone's missing an arm, the Eibishter said, put on tefillin. So he doesn't have an arm to put on the tefillin, but the mitzvah is still there, but he can't do it. So the commandment of the Eibishter is there, but we cannot do it. So how is the Eibishter's commandment forever? It's only from Hashem's perspective, but we cannot do it. Why does the Rambam say Mashiach is the foundation of Yiddishkeit? Why is Mashiach one of the 13 foundations a Yid needs to know that if the Eibishter gave us a commandment, it cannot be that it's for nothing. It cannot be that it's just forever from the Eibishter's perspective. But why did the Eibishter give it? That we shouldn't do it? What's Mashiach coming to reveal? He's coming to show us that if the Eibishter gave us a mitzvah, it means that we're going to be able to do this mitzvah. The Torah and mitzvahs of Hashem is forever not only from Hashem's commandment, but even in the fulfilling of the Torah and mitzvahs, in the doing of the 613 mitzvahs. That's why Mashiach is a foundation of Yiddishkeit. The Chassam Sofer writes, why doesn't he accept what the Rambam says Mashiach is a foundation of Yiddishkeit? He says, to eat and drink and have a good time is not a foundation of Yiddishkeit. That's what he writes. Mashiach's going to come. What was the Chassam Sofer's view on Mashiach? You're going to have a good time. And he says that's not a foundation of Yiddishkeit, so he throws it off. He says it's not again to Torah and mitzvahs. When the Rebbe brought down the Chassam Sofer, the first time that I remember the Rebbe bringing it, the Rebbe was crying, and the Rebbe couldn't stop. The Rebbe wasn't even holding himself in. The Rebbe was just crying and crying. And the Rebbe said, "The Mechilas Kvoi Teros of the Chassam Sofer." The Chassam Sofer was a great Talmid Chacham. The Rebbe knew the whole Chassam Sofer by heart. He had a Einukel, Rabbi Avram Schreiber, Avram Sofer. He was a very big Talmid Chacham. He printed the Chidushim of the Meiri on the Shas. He printed a whole set, and he was very, very close with the Rebbe. And he said that the Rebbe is blocking the whole Chassam Sofer inside out. He was by the Rebbe many times, and but the Rebbe said he was a big Talmid Chacham, but he made a very big mistake, because Mashiach is not to eat and drink. Mashiach is to do Torah and mitzvahs. And Torah and mitzvahs is a foundation of Yiddishkeit, to do what the Eibishter wants. You cannot do what the Eibishter wants, and Torah and mitzvahs is missing. So this is also why we are waiting for Mashiach. Because what's a Yid all about? What's a Yid all about? To do what the Eibishter wants. If anyone in this room over here wouldn't have matzahs for Pesach, just imagine it's coming. Oh, you wouldn't have tefillin. You put on tefillin every day. What's if you're missing your tefillin? You're missing a period of tefillin. You would be in some hole somewhere, I don't know where, and you don't have tefillin. Would you want to put on tefillin? Would you try maybe to do something, to call someone, to arrange yourself a period of tefillin? We're used to the mitzvahs that we do now. So if you take it away from us, but if you think about it, we think we are from a Yidden. We're from Jews. We're doing the 87 mitzvahs. But what we're doing now is just like you're going to see a guy. You have these people. Okay, well, what does he do? He only wears a yarmulke, nothing more than that. Guy doesn't put on tefillin. He doesn't wear tzitzis. Doesn't keep Shabbos. Nothing. Just wears a yarmulke. You're going to call this guy from a Yid? He's doing something. Let's say he wears tzitzis also. He does two things. He does 10 mitzvahs, but he doesn't do anything else. So we are ba'atzim not from a Yid. We're not real from a Yid. We're only doing 1/5 of Torah and mitzvahs. Therefore, any Yid that is a from a Yid and he knows what is he doing here for, he's the purpose of everything, is Torah and mitzvahs. It's not just to have his house and have the money that he needs, and he has his car and that. He knows that there's an Eibishter over here, there's Torah and mitzvahs that he needs to fulfill. So he understands why does he want Mashiach? Because he's not a complete person. And therefore, the Jew is obligated to wait for Mashiach every single day. Because this is Yiddishkeit. This is a Frum Yid. Someone that's a Frum Yid wants Mashiach to come. According to this, we'll just explain one more Nekuda. I hope it's not too deep. It's pretty simple. The Rebbe explains, according to all what we said now, if someone thinks that the way to figure out, to know who is Mashiach, is by Mashiach making a miracle, the Rambam says you shouldn't think that what is the sign to know who is Mashiach by performing a miracle. And not only that, if someone thinks Mashiach, the way he's going to prove himself that he's Mashiach is through making a miracle, which actually, what's the Rambam coming to say over here? How did Moshe Rabbeinu prove himself that he was the first Redeemer? What did he do? He asked the Eibishter, how are they going to believe him? They say I'm the Redeemer. Well, they're not going to believe me. So the Eibishter said, take your stick and throw it, it's going to turn into a snake. Spill the water on the floor, it's going to turn into blood. So what did he do? He made a magic show. So now we know that he's the first Redeemer. The Rambam says, don't think that Melech HaMashiach is going to prove himself that he's Mashiach through making signs and wonders and miracles and stuff like that. And not only that, the Rambam says that if someone says such a thing, he's changing the Torah and mitzvahs. He's changing the whole Torah and mitzvahs, because Torah and mitzvahs is forever. This is what the Rambam writes. So the Rebbe asks, what's the connection? What is the connection between this, that Mashiach does not need to perform miracles, with this, that Torah and mitzvahs is forever? Anybody know what's the connection? The Rebbe says it's two separate things. Doesn't need to make miracles. Okay, very nice. One thing. This, that Torah and mitzvahs is forever and ever and ever, and Torah never changes, is another thing. But if someone, the Rebbe says, the Rambam is writing, if someone says Mashiach must make a miracle, he's saying, in other words, that Torah and mitzvahs has to change. But what? How? What's the connection?
Mitzvahs has to always be able to be fulfilled regardless of circumstance, whether or not it's natural or unnatural with miracles. So therefore, for Torah mitzvahs to be able to be fulfilled, it doesn't have to be through the result of miracles. It has to be just naturally.
Who said that?
Saying whatever, it's known.
I know what you said. That's the way many people explain it, but it doesn't say that in the Sikh. The way you're saying it, the words of the Rambam is ve'ikar advarim kochain sha'toira azois chokel mishbatel la'olam la'ol be'elaven. Torah and mitzvahs is la'olam la'ol be'elaven. So the way the people explain it, the way you're saying it, they say the Rebbe says ikar advarim kochain sha'toira azois chokel mishbatel la'olam. Torah and mitzvahs was given la'olam to the world. Therefore, Torah mitzvahs was given for the world, so the world has to stay the world the way it is, and you can't change the world in order for the Torah to fit in the world. But what's wrong with that pshat? That's not the simple meaning of the word of the Rambam la'olam. La'olam means forever. And the Fedish we do see miracles happening in order to make Torah and mitzvahs possible to do. And especially now, a guy's going to say, how's the Gula going to take place now? The Gula is going to come this second. What's going to happen? How are you getting to Eretz Yisrael now? Where's the Beis Hamikdash coming from? How's Mashiach going to come? It's 100% miracles. The only way the Gula is coming now is through miracles. What the Rebbe is saying is, what the Rambam is excluding from saying Mashiach needs to make miracles is not, the Rambam is not saying, the Rebbe said this many times, very clearly. The Rebbe said it's not a Mashiach, when the Rambam, it says, you shouldn't think that Mashiach has to make signs and wonders. The Rebbe says, the Rebbe doesn't say, Al Yala Al Daitcha, Shamalach HaMashiach, Yasa Oisus HaMevsim. The Rebbe doesn't say, don't think Mashiach will make miracles. Don't think that Mashiach must make miracles to prove that he is Mashiach. That's what the Rambam is saying. Don't come to Malach HaMashiach and say, how am I going to believe you that you're Mashiach? Make a wonder or a miracle. That's what the Rambam is coming to exclude. If Mashiach is going to make a miracle, because he needs to make a miracle, for whatever reason, why do we believe that Moshe Rabbeinu was a Navi? Not because for the miracles that he made. Did he make miracles? Yes. But that's not, this is what the Rambam, not when they believed in him when he came to Mitzrayim. Why do we believe in Moshe Rabbeinu's Nevuah generally? It's not because of the miracles he made. Okay, yeah, I'll be more powerful with you a little bit later, just to finish off the Nakud over here. The Rambam says, what did we just explain now? What is Mashiach? Mashiach is Torah and mitzvahs. Mashiach is coming to reveal how the Eibishter's Torah and mitzvahs that he gave us is forever in the physical world, that we could fulfill all the Torah and mitzvahs. So when you look at Mashiach, when someone says, what is Mashiach? What comes up to your mind right away? What does that mean? What does Mashiach mean? What does Mashiach mean? Mashiach means the person that's going to make the time that we're going to be able to fulfill 613 mitzvahs. So Melech HaMashiach now has a new name. Mashiach's name is Torah and mitzvahs. But not only that, Mashiach is called the completion of all the Torah and mitzvahs. That is Melech HaMashiach. Now imagine somebody coming to a Sefer Torah and saying, how do I know that this Torah is a kosher Torah? By this Torah making changes. Through the Torah changing. What's the idea of making a miracle? Making a miracle means you're taking water and you're changing it. You're making a change. What's the whole idea of Torah and mitzvahs? That it has no change. If I want to know if someone is very smart, so imagine I tell you, how do I know that this guy's smart by saying something very stupid? Does that make sense? Or I ask you, if I want to prove to me, how am I going to figure out if this guy's a nice guy? How do I know he's a nice guy? If you're going to go to him and ask him, can I have some stock? He's going to punch you in the face and say, get out of here. That makes sense? Not only that's not proving what you want, but he's doing just the opposite from what you're trying to figure out. There's one thing of doing something saying the way I know something, the way I'm going to figure something out is through doing something that has nothing to do with what you want to figure out. How do I know this guy's smart? By drinking Coca-Cola. What's the connection? There's no connection. By saying that you know this guy's Mashiach through making a miracle, first of all, has nothing to do with Mashiach. What Mashiach is Torah and mitzvahs. What does miracles have to do with Torah and mitzvahs? Number one. Not only that, it's contradicting the whole idea of Mashiach. Mashiach is Torah and mitzvahs. Torah and mitzvahs symbolize this idea of non-changing. Torah and mitzvahs has no change. Torah and mitzvahs is forever and ever. So if someone says Mashiach needs to make a change, what do you say? Through making a change, I'm going to figure out that he's forever. The whole idea of Nitzchis HaTorah. How could the sign to figure something out be through doing just the opposite from what you want to figure out? Mashiach is Torah and mitzvahs, which is forever. How could I figure this out through making miracles? Which the whole idea of miracles is through making changes. How could making a change reveal to me, oh, now I know this guy is Torah and mitzvahs, which is forever? So this is one of the points from the first sikh over here that the Rebbe gave out. And according to this, we could understand why is David HaMelech the first Mashiach and not Moshe Rabbeinu. Why? Why is it Moshe Rabbeinu the first Mashiach? And specifically David HaMelech? You said David, everyone said David. Why David and why not Moshe Rabbeinu? Why is David the first Mashiach? What is Mashiach? The whole idea of, if the idea of Mashiach was just to take Yidden out of the tzoros of Golus, so who would be the first Mashiach? Moshe Rabbeinu. He's the first person to take Yidden out of Golus, out of the tzoros of Golus. But what is Mashiach? Not to take someone out of the tzoros of Golus. Mashiach means to make it possible to do 613 mitzvahs. Who is the first person that made it possible to do 613 mitzvahs? David HaMelech. He didn't build the Beis HaMikdash. The way that Rebbe learns it over here is he made the Hachonis. It's just like let's say Mashiach. You're expecting Mashiach to stand there and put bricks on himself all by himself. He should be the carpenter. He should be the guy over there wearing the overalls with the paintbrush. Mashiach is going to appoint, obviously, people to do it. David HaMelech gathered all the anything that was needed to build the Beis HaMikdash, all the utensils, all the metal, all the brick, all the whatever it is. He made the blueprint. He did everything. So even though maybe he was missing the bottom line, but the Rebbe says, in the end of the day, this is the Chazal call the first Beis HaMikdash on the name of David HaMelech, not on the name of Shlomo HaMelech. And we can speak about this a little bit more. It's a famous question, but that's what the Rebbe says over here. That David HaMelech, he did everything. Mashiach needs to bring all the Yidden out of Yisrael. All the Yidden were in Eretz Yisrael. Mashiach did every single thing. David HaMelech did everything necessary to do all the 613 mitzvahs. So why did Moshe Rabbeinu want to go to Eretz Yisrael? Why did he daven why did he daven 515 times to go inside Eretz Yisrael? What was he so desperate about? He wanted to eat the fruits from Israel. He wanted to eat the Gemara says, he wanted to eat the bakes that were baked in the bakeries of Israel, tasted good. That's what Moshe Rabbeinu was so desperate. Moshe Rabbeinu wanted to do the mitzvahs he could only do in Eretz Yisrael. But the Eibusher didn't fulfill Moshe Rabbeinu's request. Moshe Rabbeinu did not have this idea of bringing the possibility to the 630 mitzvahs. Therefore, he's not the first Mashiach. The first person that made it possible to do all the 613 mitzvahs was David HaMelech. Therefore, David HaMelech is called the first Mashiach. According to this, the Rebbe actually explains why does the Rambam need to emphasize that David is the first Mashiach, to let you know what is Mashiach. Mashiach is not Moshe Rabbeinu number 2. Mashiach is David HaMelech number 2. And we'll just end off with the Rebbe's words over here that we should add in our Emunah in the coming of Mashiach and waiting for Mashiach. And the way we will strengthen our belief and Emunah in Mashiach is through learning about it. Through learning about it, this is what's going to be machazik our Emunah and our waiting for Mashiach, when we're going to understand that we're missing something. What does it mean to wait for something? When someone is missing, when someone didn't eat, so he wants to eat. What if someone doesn't even know that he didn't eat for so long. And this guy could pass out or whatever. He doesn't even know that he didn't eat for some reason. So you need to let the guy know, first of all, that you didn't eat in a long time. Now the guy's at least gonna want to eat. So we have to start to learn about Mashiach, to know what Mashiach is going to accomplish, and then we're gonna realize that we're missing something. There's something that we do not have, and something that we want, and we want Mashiach now. Shkoyach.